A man cannot be too careful in the choice of his enemies. In America, the president reigns for 4 years, and journalism governs forever and ever. We are all in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars. Truth, in the matters of religion, is simply the opinion that has survived. It is absurd to divide people into good and bad. People are either charming or tedious. The true mystery of the world is the visible, not the invisible. Wisdom comes with winters. Wickedness is a myth invented by good people to account for the curious attractiveness of others. Every saint has a past, and every sinner has a future. Whenever a man does a thoroughly stupid thing, it is always from the noblest motives. Consistency is the last refuge of the unimaginative. A good friend will always stab you in the front. A little sincerity is a dangerous thing, and a great deal of it is absolutely fatal. America is the only country that went from barbarism to decadence without civilization in between. Experience is the name everyone gives to their mistakes. No good deed goes unpunished. Patriotism is the virtue of the vicious. I think that God, in creating man, somewhat overestimated his ability. America had often been discovered before Columbus, but it had always been hushed up. The aim of life is self-development. To realize one's nature perfectly, that is what each of us is here for. It is perfectly monstrous, the way people go about nowadays saying things against one behind one's back that are absolutely and entirely true. I suppose that I shall have to die beyond my means. Women are never disarmed by compliments. Men always are. Never love anyone who treats you like you are ordinary. What a pity that in life we only get our lessons when they are of no use to us. One has a right to judge a man by the effect he has over his friends. When people agree with me, I always feel that I must be wrong. To get back my youth, I would do anything in the world except take exercise, get up early, or be respectable. The nicest feeling in the world is to do a good deed anonymously and have somebody find out. The one charm of the past is that it is the past. A man can be happy with any woman as long as he does not love her. The greatest mystery of the world is the visible world. Life is never fair, and perhaps it is a good thing for most of us that it is not. It is well for his peace that the saint goes to his martyrdom. He is spared the sight of the horror of his harvest. There is a luxury in self-reproach. When we blame ourselves, we feel that no one else has a right to blame us. It is the confession, not the priest, that gives us absolution. Moderation is a fatal thing. Nothing succeeds like excess. Biography lends to death a new terror. It is what you read when you don't have to that determines what you will be when you can't help it. After the first glass, you see things as you wish they were. After the second, you see things as they are not. Finally, you see things as they really are, and that is the most horrible thing in the world. Seriousness is the only refuge of the shallow. It is better to have a permanent income than to be fascinating. There are many things that we would throw away if we were not afraid that others might pick them up. I always like to know everything about my new friends and nothing about my old ones. Misfortunes one can endure. They come from outside. They are accidents. But to suffer for one's own faults, there's the sting of life. The public is wonderfully tolerant. It forgives everything except genius. Indifference is the revenge the world takes on mediocrities. Men always want to be a woman's first love. Women like to be a man's last romance. A thing is not necessarily true because a man dies for it. Selfishness is not living as one wishes to live. It is asking others to live as one wishes to live. You will always be fond of me. I represent to you all the sins you never had the courage to commit. A cynic is a man who knows the price of everything and the value of nothing. A well-tied tie is the first serious step in life. Society often forgives the criminal. It never forgives the dreamer. There is no such thing as a moral or an immoral book. I love acting. It is so much more real than life. The only way to get rid of a temptation is to yield to it. To speak frankly, I am not in favor of long engagements. They give people the opportunity of finding out each other's character before marriage, which I think is never advisable. The very essence of romance is uncertainty. There is only one class in the community that thinks more about money than the rich, and that is the poor. The only thing to do with good advice is to pass it on. It is never of any use to oneself. Man is least himself when he talks in his own person. Give him a mask, and he will tell ye the truth. Illusion is the first of all pleasures. I adore simple pleasures. They are the last refuge of the complex. Pleasure is the only thing one should live for. Nothing ages like happiness. Fashion is what one wears oneself. What is unfashionable is what other people wear. The youth of America is their oldest tradition. It has been going on now for 300 years. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery that mediocrity can pay to greatness. I am so clever that sometimes I don't understand a single word of what I'm saying. The only thing that sustains one through life is the consciousness of the immense inferiority of everybody else, and this is a feeling that I have always cultivated. Religions die when they are proved to be true. Science is the record of dead religions. In matters of grave importance, style, not sincerity, is the vital thing. One can survive everything, nowadays, except death, and live down everything except a good reputation. Patriotism is the vice of nations. A gentleman is one who never hurts anyone's feelings unintentionally. Scandal is gossip made tedious by morality. Ambition is the last refuge of the failure. I am not young enough to know everything. The fact is that the public have an insatiable curiosity to know everything except what is worth knowing. And, after all, what is a fashion? From the artistic point of view, it is usually a form of ugliness, so intolerable that we have to alter it every 6 months. To regret one's own experiences is to arrest one's own development. To deny one's own experiences is to put a lie into the lips of one's own life. It is no less than a denial of the soul. Most modern calendars mar the sweet simplicity of our lives by reminding us that each day that passes is the anniversary of some perfectly uninteresting event. Even you are not rich enough to buy back your past. No man is. The advantage of the emotions is that they lead us astray, and the advantage of science is that it is not emotional.